Welcome to Basket of Tales, a time travel into the world of stories.
Hello everyone, welcome to Basket of Tales. And this is Miss S, and I am back with another interesting story riddle from the tales of Vikram and Bethaal. The saga of Vikram trying to catch Bethaal continued. As Vikram managed to get hold of Bethaal, he soon started narrating another riddle to Vikram. Now, this is a story about a sacrifice, a patriotic sacrifice. Once upon a time, in a faraway village named Gorakhpur, lived a rich man named Yashwant Singh. He had a beautiful daughter named Nandini, who wanted to marry a woodcutter named Sukesh. But she was very afraid to tell her father. One day, there comes a magician to the town, and he wanted to meet the rich merchant. The magician was very famous for his magic. When the merchant got to know, he invited the magician to his home. While they were having their lunch, the magician said, "Do you want to become rich in seconds?" The merchant was astonished. The greedy merchant immediately said yes, and the magician soon transformed the dishes and pots into gold with the help of his magic rock. The merchant was speechless, and he told the magician, "Tell me, what can I do for you? I want this magic rock." The evil magician wanted to marry his beautiful daughter Nandini, to which he immediately agreed. But Nandini was sad and heartbroken. When the woodcutter got to know this, he came to merchant and said, "You cannot force Nandini to marry this evil magician." He wanted to take Nandini along with him. However, the magician who was watching all of this immediately captured Nandini into a small cage using his magical power. Sukesh was very smart and intelligent. He somehow figured out that the magician's power was controlled by a small doll, whom he carried with him all the time. He immediately looked for an opportunity and grabbed the doll and broke it into pieces. The magician soon lost all his powers, and everything turned back into its normal state. However, Nandini was still captured in the cage. She starts screaming for help. Sukesh gets hold of a book of the magician. In the book, it mentions that one can only break the cage and bring Nandini out with the help of a lotus. The brave woodcutter fights all odds, and he goes to the faraway forest right into the cave. First, he spots a big snake. He bravely captures the snake and throws her away. Then, as he walks further, he finds a path of fire, and he starts chanting strong mantras, and the fire shuts off. Later, he spots a beautiful woman who tries to make him her slave, but Sukesh escapes from her. Sukesh did not give up. He was determined to bring the lotus flower to save Nandini, and eventually he was successful. They both decide to get married. Sukesh takes Nandini with him. One day, Sukesh tells Nandini that he has to travel for a day to meet his mother to tell her about their marriage plans. On the other side, the king of the village is very sad and unhappy because he had lost all his sons in the war. He himself got injured and hurt his hand. Now he is worried is about his successor. He then consults a saint. The saint tells him that you will meet a beautiful girl today and she will be able to help you. If you marry her, she will give birth to a boy and he will be then the successor of the throne. The king on his way back spots Nandini at a temple. He approaches her and expresses his desire to talk to her. Nandini gets nervous and says, "Your Highness, my would-be husband is out of town, and once he is back, we both will come to your palace." The king says, "No, you don't have to come. I will come and meet you." And the king leaves. As Nandini starts walking to her home, King's chief minister spots her and he expresses his desire to talk to her in person. Nandini responds to him the same thing, that she is comfortable meeting him after 2 days. The minister agrees. As she starts walking further, the village head gets mesmerized with her beauty and he expresses his desire to meet her personally, to which Nandini again says that she would be meeting him after 2 days. The village head and the minister both think that Sukesh is the real hurdle and they send some goons to attack him. Somehow Sukesh manages to escape. Right after 2 days, as Nandini waits for Sukesh, suddenly she hears a door knock, and upon opening the door, she sees the king. And to her surprise, she did not expect the king to come. As she starts talking, there will be another knock at the door. And to be safe, Nandini requests the king to hide in the kitchen. Upon opening the door, she sees the minister at the door. He comes in and he expresses his desire to get married to Nandini. As soon as he finishes his talk, there hears another knock at the door. Panicked Nandini asks the minister to go and hide in the bedroom. And to her surprise, this time it's the village head who comes to meet her with the same desire of marrying her, in spite of knowing that she is in love with Sukesh. Now Nandini does not know what to do. She is now eagerly waiting for Sukesh to be back home, and luckily Sukesh returns home. He knocks the door. Panicked Nandini asks the village head to go hide under the bed. She gets so happy to see Sukesh, hale and healthy. She then narrates everything to him. Sukesh says, "I'm sorry you had to face so many challenges in my absence. Why didn't you go to the village head? He might have helped you." Nandini with a smile says, "He is the one who first approached me and is right here in this house." The embarrassed village head apologizes. Then Sukesh says, "Then why didn't you reach out to the minister?" Nandini again laughs out sarcastically and says, "He was the second man about whom I was talking about." The minister too confesses and apologizes. Sukesh finally says, "Well, in that case you should have gone to the king for help." The king immediately steps in and he apologizes too for the discomfort caused by him. He explains both as to why he had to do all of it. Suddenly the saint appears that time and he tells them about why the king had to do this. The saint tells Nandini to take the decision. He tells her that if she marries the king, she will give birth to a son who will bring prosperity to the country. Sukesh is now thinking, but he sacrifices his love for the prosperity of his nation. Well, here Bethaal pauses and asks Vikram a question. "Vikram, now tell me, whom do you think Nandini will marry?" Well, Vikram immediately replies that the man has three priorities: being faithful to parents, to Guru, and to his country. The country comes first, and one should be prepared to make the sacrifice. So she will definitely marry the king by sacrificing her love. Well, Bethaal appreciates the decision of the king, but as he always says, you speak, I leave. Bethaal goes back onto the tree, again making Vikram chase him. Let's see what happens in the next story. Thank you for listening.